Hey everybody, this is Chris from Beyond the Pickup, and I'm here with Alex from Playing with Fire, aka Big Dick Alex and Small Dick Alex.
What's up, guys? Depends on the day. On the weekends, I'm Big Dick Alex. During the week, I'm Small Dick Alex.
And in Asia, he's always Godzilla Dick Alex. Sweet. And so, thanks for being on the channel and doing this interview.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
And I know, like a lot of the guys in my group or who follow me, like a lot of guys know about Playing with Fire. If you haven't bought the product, definitely buy the product. It's great, especially if you're new to text game or you suck at text game. Playing with Fire, it definitely helped me. When I was getting into text game, I already knew a lot, but Alex's product, kind of helps rough out the edges. It's a good sandpaper, even if you are an expert guy like me.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And so I kind of want to know a little bit about like your history, like where you started from, because you kind of had, or maybe you could tell everyone watching of just kind of like where you came from and where Playing with Fire came from, because I want to know that story myself. For
sure. So I'm going to try to make a very long story, moderately long, not too long.
Just like your dick.
Yeah, just a regular amount of long. But basically, I really struggled with girls when I was growing up. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 19, and it was to a fat chick on a beach in Mexico when I was blackout wasted.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was really struggling with women up until like my 22, 23. That's when I got my first girlfriend, 22. I really struggled with the shit for a while. And, back when I was 18, 19, like this would have been like 2008. Like it just, obviously there was resources, but they weren't as abundant, It wasn't all like, okay, how to deal with LMR, you YouTube it, and there's like 20 tutorials.
Oh yeah. There's so many
resources. Click online
now.
because it's obviously the best, but you consider the other ones. Yeah. So there's just less resources. So a lot of it was just trial and error. So I'd go out and then, I read the book, The Game, when I was about 22, and that's when I, first learned about the idea of, there's a community. So I became really immersed in cold approach. I thought for a while that online was bullshit, that like it's a scam, whatever. It's kind of like the mindset a lot of people have, like, oh, it's a scam. Like, why is it a scam? Oh no, it's a scam. So
yeah.
So I really didn't think, there was any value to it. And I remember, so 2012, 2013, that's when Tinder was first getting on the scene, more or less. And I remember I had a few buddies that would tell me about it. They'd be like, yo, man, like, you got to check out this app. Like, this fucking, you can fucking chat with hot girls without even knowing them in real life, which at the time was like a revolutionary idea. Now it sounds like no big deal. I was like, dude, this is not real shit. So I definitely very much had that mindset.
Wow. So even you going into this, you were like, it's bullshit. It's fake.
Yeah, I was indoctrinated, because right around that time, after I read The Game, I discovered RSD, and I was watching like their videos, and they're kind of like, they don't necessarily say that online is bullshit, but they kind of like, I don't know, frown upon it in a sense. Like it's not so much anymore, but back then it was more like, if you guys want to really if you want to be a real man, go do some cold approach.
I remember those days where that was definitely before like Tinder was taking off.
That was before.
Yeah, and it was like mostly Match.com and like eHarmony and shit, and everyone's like, And back then you had to write like paragraphs and do take hours to build your profile and shit. And
it wasn't as convenient. Revolutionized online dating. Like it used to be like, it was like this whole big, commitment. Like it would take you, if you want to create an online dating profile, you had to like fucking answer a million questions and like, provide a pube sample or whatever. There's like a million different requirements.
You got to spit in this jar.
A mason jar full of piss. Now, when Tinder came on, it was just like you can sign up in like 2 minutes. So it completely changed the barrier. So chicks who would normally be like, I don't have time for this, were like, well, it only takes 2 minutes. So you got a completely new demographic of people onto online dating. That's basically what Tinder did. So, so I moved to LA when I was 23, and then I really got heavily into game. I was just doing a lot of cold approach and all that shit, and I was getting like I didn't completely suck balls at it. Like I did get some results. It wasn't nearly as much as I should have based on my age and my looks and my whatever personality, I guess.
Yeah, like sexual market value type of thing. Like you were pretty young and. I
was getting laid more in spite of myself, not because of myself. So I wasn't getting laid so much because of my game. I was getting laid a lot because I did a shitload of approaches, and some girls were like, well, he's cute and he's normal, so I'm gonna fuck him. And I was kind of more like that type of thing.
Like, yeah, like you didn't even have to do anything like special. It's like you were normal and cute, and that was like enough to get results.
Well, yeah, well, just because I was doing so many approaches, right? Because I was
Yeah.
running massive volume back then. I mean, dude, I was going out, and from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. I was mass approaching, right?
Yeah. Well, I used to do that too. Like when I first got into the game, it was like you get there when shit opened and you would leave either when you pulled a girl or closing time.
Yeah.
And it was just like approach.
But as a consequence of that, I also had no life. Like, my whole game was doing pickup. Like, I didn't have a career. I was broke, which unfortunately is very common in the community. I never went to the gym, never cared about fitness. So I was just like skinny as fuck. I didn't have a brand. Like my whole life was just doing cold approach pickup, because it is very time consuming, especially when you kind of suck at it. So like I was doing all this work and I was getting some results, but it was like, a fraction of the results I get now with only doing a fraction of the effort. But anyway, so I was doing a lot of that. And then, okay, how did the switch start to happen? The switch started to happen actually when I got into sales. So when I was about 24, I got hired for the sales job, and I needed it because I was broke as fuck at the time, dude. Like when I moved out to LA, I sold my car, which gave me $10,000, and I lived off that $10,000 for 2 years in LA. So
wow,
yeah, dude, I was living in like fucking like third world country conditions. I was living in like a house with 10 people. I had this like fucking tiny room, dude. It was like when I would pull
that's fucking gnarly, man.
Dude, when I would pull chicks back to that room, like you just saw the immediate look of like it's like whipping out a tiny cock. It's like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I'm already invested, so I might go along with this, but fuck this guy. Like, so yeah, so that was so like, while I was getting some pussy, other aspects of my life were just kind of like a mess, So yeah, so I really need a job. Got a job doing sales. Initially, I wanted to get into sales because I thought it would help my pickup, right? Because I was just kind of I was only thinking through like, what can I do to get better at pickup? That was my whole frame. It wasn't like, what can I do to get better as a person, to be more successful and be more fulfilled. It was just, what can I do to get better at pickup?
Yeah.
So I got this job in sales, and I actually wound up really liking sales. I thought it was cool, like it was a lot of fun. And so when I was working in sales for maybe like I got to the point where I was working sales 8-9 hours a day, sometimes 10 hours a day, like almost every day, and I really just didn't have time for cold approach. Like after doing sales for 9 hours, the last thing you want to do is go to a bar. Like, dude, like I would come home and I would just be dead tired. But I was still horny. Like I still need to get laid. But I was like, I can't like physically go to the bar right now.
Your body's like, no, Alex, you got to stay home.
There's no way. Yeah, man. Yeah. I had to wake up early, so I couldn't be out till like 2 a.m. I had to be up at like 7:30 every morning. So I was like, okay, there's got to be like some solution here. So I was like, well, why don't I give online a shot? Because I can do this while I'm stuck in traffic. I can do this, while I'm killing time at work. Like I can kind of do this, because it's not mutually exclusive to working, right? So I'm like, okay. So I got into that. And then at this point, like my mind was rapidly expanding because I was just like learning so much shit from sales. I had an awesome sales manager who mentored me. It was this short redheaded lady who was the best fucking salesperson I've ever met. But I was like, started thinking like, wow, like a lot of the things that I thought about sales were wrong. I'm learning all the shit. A lot of things I thought about human nature were wrong. So like maybe I should question some of the things I know about game. So I started applying some of the things I learned in sales to pickup. Yeah. Like I'll give you an example. With sales, typically a big thing you'll do is you will soft close, right? So you typically don't say, okay, so let's get you started. Do you want to do this payment or this payment? You would typically say, so this idea sounds pretty good, huh? Because you're doing like a big item purchase. So just like a lot of things like that started to just seeing what I used to do before is when I would treat every girl as like, like this big deal, but instead just treating it as a lead and trying to text each girl in an optimal way and not letting my emotions get involved. So kind of doing things like that. And that rapidly exploded my online results. I remember like it just fucking blew my mind. Like, okay, shit, like I'm actually getting a lot of results now. And there was like, it wasn't overnight by any stretch, but there was also like key things that kind of like made the circuit breaker in my brain go off. Like I remember, I love to tell this story. The first form of online game that I did wasn't Tinder. It was actually Craigslist. I remember.
Shit. So Craigslist is for dating.
One night, I remember this night. I came home from work. I was tired as fuck, man. I could not physically go out. And I was just trolling some pickup forums. And I saw someone talking about how they get laid off Craigslist by posting these very sexual ads and girls will email them. So this guy was saying how the big mistake guys make with Craigslist is they try to be the one that emails girls, but how that's really ineffective because they have 100 guys emailing them. So what you need to do is you need to create your own ad that really catches her attention, have her email you. So I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. And so I reworked what he had in his ad using like what I know about game and like sales, made it like just sound very good, like very sexual, very 50 Shades of Grey. And then I remember like an hour later, I got an email. I got a lot of spam. I got a lot of gay dudes trying to suck me off. But I also got, that's unfortunate. But I also got a chick who was like, hey, this is me. I love your ad. Can we make this happen tonight? I was like, yeah. I thought it was like, okay, I'm being catfished. Like, it's too good to be true. Because she looked really hot in her pictures. Like, not exactly my type. She was very model looking, where I prefer the porn star look. Or like subjectively, or objectively very attractive. So I'm like, okay, yeah. And then she's like, okay, we traded emails, gave her my address. And then she's like, okay, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So I came out and dude, I was fully expecting no one to show up. Like I had the lowest expectations ever. Right?
Yeah.
And then this fucking
or to be like a dude or a tranny.
And then this fucking tall model looking girl shows up at my place and gives me a hug and says, hey Alex. And I'm like, all right, what's the fucking catch? Like I'm waiting for Ashton Kutcher to pop out. Gotcha, bitch. Like never happened. And then
you got punked, bitch.
You got punked, you little horny fuck. And then went inside, we're banging within 5 minutes. And that just like totally blew my mind. I was thinking, okay, normally I have to approach a bunch of girls, right? Get rejected, a bit. Get some numbers. Not all those numbers would text me back. Some numbers would text me back. Some of those would drop off at some point. Then go on a date. I wasn't doing like fuck dates back then. Go on a date. Yeah. Then go on a date. Sometimes I have pools. Sometimes I don't. Build it up. Like this is a whole fucking process. And I just took this process and did this to it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of guys get overwhelmed by like, oh, I have to take her on dates. I got to do this. I got to do that. And so you just got laid, like you made a Craigslist ad. And yeah, you had to filter out like the dudes, but
that was pretty easy. When you get questions like, are you circumcised or not? Like, it's a fucking dude. Like, it's like a gay question. Or like, cut or uncut or something like that. Fuck off.
Like I don't think I've ever heard a woman ask me that before.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I like sometimes with guys in my forums, like they'll be like, yo, this chick is playing really hard to get. I'm like, because it's actually a dude. Like, look at this and this. I'm like fucking, it's a dude, man. I can tell.
Mm-hmm. By the way they're texting and shit.
Yeah. It becomes pretty obvious. So there was experiences like that kind of just like made me really question what I knew about pickup and what I thought, because I was really indoctrinated into like the RSD mindset. Like it has to be a grind. You have to like, fucking, this is your life. Like you have to make this, like blah, blah, blah.
I remember that the old RSD mindset was like, like this is your life now. Like this is your job. This is your second job.
Pretty much. But then you're like a broke loser. You're like 35 years old, 40 years old, and you're still running around doing cold approach pickup. Like who the fuck wants to do that? Some people probably actually, but I mean.
Like I can't stay out till closing time anymore. I'm like, I'm dead the next day if I do that. I'm like, oh, my whole week's ruined.
Dude, nowadays if I go out, I'm going out not to do pickup. I'm going out to hang out with my buddies and like fucking have a good time for a few hours. And then if I see hot girls, I will like fucking chat them up and get their numbers and shit. But I'm not like I don't no longer really go out with the intention of like, all right, guys, time to do our sarging. Like,
dude, we got a sarge tonight.
We got a sarge tonight. Yeah, fuck that, man. I'm going out and have fun with my friends and like have a good time. Like I'd rather just honestly chill at home, fucking like I don't know, have a conversation with a good buddy than like fucking grind it out at a club.
Oh yeah. I know some guys where their only friends are actually pickup guys, and so they don't even know how to go out and just relax. And that's I have a few clients that way where it's like, okay, we got to teach you how to just relax in a bar without like, oh, I need a sarge, I need to go. Right? Like, can you just have a drink, like a beer for 5 minutes and be cool?
They don't know how to have a conversation that doesn't involve pickup. Like,
they don't.
Back when I used to like meet people through the RSD forums, like when I first moved to LA, like some of them were mad cool, like, my best buddies to this day, but some of them like couldn't have a normal conversation, like just fucking pick up.
It's just pick up all the time. And even as a guy, it's like that gets really boring.
It gets so boring.
Yeah. And you gotta, I think, like for everyone watching, definitely have a life outside of pickup. And also like if you do get a girl that you want to like to, fuck more than once and bring her into your life, like you got to have something for her to actually come into, right? Like if your whole life is just game and pickup, you're not really gonna get a girlfriend that way.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you also need a career. I think like a big issue is that a lot of like pickup artists are broke living in their mom's basements. Like,
Yeah.
and like that's that's an issue because you cannot be fucking fully happy as a person if you live in your mom's basement. Like whenever I hear someone say, "Yeah, dude, but it's a little hard for me because I'm still living with my mom." Well, you're like 35, man. Like okay, like everyone has a period in their life, but like if you're my theory is this: if you're living with your mom, then you don't have time to do cold approach because you should be fucking working to get out of your mom's basement. Like cold approach is more of a luxury than fucking living in your mom's basement.
Like I didn't start doing cold approach till I was like living on my own in LA, and then I had like a job as a programmer for a while.
Mm.
And then it's like, okay, you could use that, and then you don't feel weird like pulling a chick. Like I get asked this question of like, how do I pull when my mom's home? I'm like, you probably shouldn't. Like if that's an issue,
it's awkward as fuck. Like I did that when I was younger. Like I don't like it. Like you can't properly fuck a girl when your mom's in the next room.
No, you can't.
Cool. Like what are you gonna be like? Like girls gonna be, oh daddy, fuck me with that humongous fucking cock, and your mom's just like cooking like fucking supper.
Oh yeah,
that's my little man.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stir this spaghetti sauce, but you go get it. You go get it, honey.
He's doing the Punisher on her. Yeah.
Hey, Alex, you need a towel?
Don't forget to eat the pussy.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be twisted.
Yeah. So going back to the story, so there was like experiences like that kind of made me, question a lot of what I knew. Yeah. And so again, a big part of the reason I got really into online was simply because I was working a lot and I didn't have the luxury of doing cold approach. Yeah. Like I was just coming home from work tired. So I needed something that I could set up dates. Basically, I needed to set up dates while I was at work or while I was taking a shit and basically like have them be there. I come home from work at 8. She had to be over at 9 so then I could go to sleep by 11. Like that was kind of the situation. Like right now I don't have that, because I work for myself. But back then, it was just like I was on a strict schedule and shit. So that's when I was like, okay, a lot of the early principles, like even still to this day, a lot of the principles that my product is based on is it's designed basically for a guy who it's not designed so much for the pickup artist. It's designed for the guy who has like a normal life and is like doing shit and is busy. Like a lot of it is screening really hard, like just kind of a lot of that. So next playing with fire. So I was doing that. I was working this job, dude. I had no intention to ever. I think a big misconception people have is that I know that I was like always trying to do this, trying to be a coach or something like that. Dude, I had no intention of ever getting into the business side of this industry. In fact, I would laugh at that idea. I thought I was like, dude, why the fuck? When you want to do this, like get a fucking real normal job or start a normal business. So I had a corporate job, and literally I started the Playing with Fire group. The whole thing was created honestly just for my validation. I literally just wanted to share stories and have people give me props. Like I wanted to, because I started to get laid a lot from online. So basically I wanted to come home, fuck a girl, brag about on the internet, go to sleep, go to work. Like everything had to be efficient.
You had it very efficient.
Yeah. Like very, very like regimented. Go to Whole Foods, overpay for my fucking kale. And then, that's kind of like the lifestyle. And, so I wouldn't say, to be fair, it wasn't just, like, I also, a big trend that I saw at the time that annoyed me is when people would share lay reports, they wouldn't share all the screenshots. So this, like, annoyed me to no end. Like, a guy would be like, yo, I fucked this hot girl, and he would post, like, one screenshot, and it would be, like, the glamour screenshot where the girl's like, okay, fine, I'll suck your dick or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait, dude, like, post the stuff leading up to this. That's where all the value is. Like, I don't need to see the screenshot where she tells you how good the sex was. Like, that doesn't help me. I want to see the screenshot leading up to it, And the guys would be like, I don't kiss and tell or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Where I was like, there's no value in this then. Like, the value is in what exactly you did. So, like,
because it's like, especially if you're not getting results, that is a big mystery of like, how did you get her to come over from just texting? Like, where does that come from?
Absolutely. Like, I need to see the shit leading up to it. And so that really wasn't, this is back when I was posting a lot in the RSD Facebook groups, and that really wasn't happening. You know, there's like all these guys posting the glamorous screenshots, half of them probably not even really getting laid. So I'm like, okay, fuck this. So one of the earliest principles with my group was that if you're going to post a lay report, you have to post every single screenshot from start to finish. If not, you're getting fucking roasted. That was like the earliest, that was like basically the underlying principle that my group was based on. Like,
I love it. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that was like the main thing. Like, it was like, oh, dude, you didn't post every screenshot in Alex's group. Oh shit, man, you're gonna get roasted. So it started off like that. It was just mainly just like guys laughing, having fun, and sharing value. That's really what it was. And the group was pretty small for a while. It was like 200, 300 people, just mostly friends or friends of friends, right? It wasn't, you know, I didn't start out at like 10,000 people or something like that. It was a really small group, pretty closely knit. And then it slowly, again, I was still working at this job. You know, I thought I was going to be, you know, corporate America for a while. So it was just slowly, this group was slowly growing organically. Like, I didn't advertise it at all. Like, it was just growing because someone would invite someone, and that person would invite someone. And then periodically, I would get like people hitting me up through Messenger saying, hey, man, you seem like you got this stuff really figured out. Do you do coaching? And at first I was like, no, dude, like I don't, you know. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, you know, maybe I could, you know, if I have an extra hour in the weekend, coach these guys and make some extra money. So I was like, sure. Like, you know, like how much? And people were like, well, I'll pay you $50 an hour. I'm like, oh, shit. Some people were like, I'll pay you $60 an hour. I'll pay you $75. I'll pay you $100 an hour. So I'm like, holy fucking shit. Like, it blew my mind. I'm like, there's people that are willing to pay me money to give them feedback on their Tinder game, their Tinder profile. You know, that's crazy. And then, you know, at the time, I didn't really understand that, you know, okay, I'm providing a very clear service that no one else really is. So to me, it was crazy. And I was just fucking, I would give people, I would go like overboard. Like if someone paid for an hour, I would give them like 2.5 hours. Like I was like so paranoid.
Over deliver.
Yeah. I was so paranoid that I'm like, you know, not delivering. I was just like going way too far in the direction, basically giving people like a free hour and shit. You know, not the worst thing ever, but, you know, not really efficient as a business. So, yeah, so I was doing that. And then the group just kept slowly organically growing. And then I remember the company I worked for, I think it was February 2018, just went bankrupt like over a weekend through no fault of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the upper management made some really bad decisions, we've later found out, and basically bankrupted the company. So like 400, 500 people lost their jobs essentially close to overnight and through no fault of their own. That was like the saddest thing. So
that sucks, man.
Yeah. Actually, I sort of got lucky, and I'm only getting this big severance thing, long story, but a lot of people didn't get anything. So, yeah, so a lot of people got fucked. And so when that happened, I became really disillusioned with the idea of working for anyone else ever again, because it really annoyed me that I could do a really good job at something, and then I could lose my job because someone else is an idiot. Like that idea just was like, I just didn't feel comfortable, like safe, not comfortable, safe working for anyone else after that. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I had a few business ideas, like I had a few other ones. I was like, let me see how far I can get with, you know, doing this coaching thing.
Yeah.
And so I just started taking, you know, booking up all my days, which is doing coaching. And then that was the first step. I was doing a lot of coaching, but the big issue I had with coaching as the demand grew is that I only have so much time as a person. Like I was directly trading my time for money, and I only have so many personal hours in the day. So like, all right, I got to be able to take everything I've learned from, you know, doing this and from coaching, because honestly, I don't think I could have ever created the product without doing coaching. So I think you get good at something by teaching other people. So all the stuff that I learned, I got to put it into something that people can just get, where I'm not directly trading my time for money, so that if 20 people in a day want to learn my stuff, they can by just clicking a button. So that's kind of how the product came in.
And so it was like, just, you don't have enough time to coach all these guys. So it's like, how could you help these guys, but, you know, and not sacrifice all your time?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I want to basically be able to scale up. And the idea was, okay, we're going to have this product, and then we're going to have a mastermind group, so that if someone does have questions after reading the product, they can ask me and get feedback.
Mm-hmm. And your mastermind group was really helpful. I mean, it still is. But I know like a lot, I know you've moved a lot of it off Facebook now.
Yeah. We have 2 mastermind groups now. We have one on Facebook, which my business partner handles. And then, so if you buy the product, you get access to both. It's not like we fucking nickel and dime you. And then the other one that's off Facebook that I run. And we're going to be moving because now we created an app. So we're going to be slowly moving everyone to that. We're just getting like the group chat feature set up in the app and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. Is the app out already, or is it
app is out? Yeah.
Nice.
We're just trying to get the group chat feature so you can like people can chat with each other.
Yeah.
Once we get that, we're going to push harder for moving everyone to that.
I think, yeah, I'll have to get on that. And is that on iTunes or?
Yeah, it's on the App Store.
App Store. Is it iOS and Android or just iOS?
Yep.
Sweet, that's dope. And so definitely, I don't know if there's going to be a link, but I'll put the link. Put the link in the bio, and you guys can get the app. I know I'm going to get it. That's pretty impressive, man. So you got an app now, and I know, and you got the forums going. And so it sounds like it's been one hell of a journey. Like, how long did that take from going from like, oh, you never get laid to now you're guys?
I kind of summed it up in 10 minutes, but it was like very long. Like we're talking from not getting laid to having an app.
An app to help guys get laid.
8-9 years. So there's a lot of like bumps in the road and shit, like little things that I do, like,
Yeah. So that's been a crazy, crazy journey. And I got in, like I only like met you online, like after I got the product and joined the mastermind group.
Yep.
And
I remember, man, you stood out to me because when you would write these very detailed comments that were very spot on. And I was like, holy shit, this guy is like answering, like this guy's doing what I'm doing for free. Like this guy should like fucking like why is this guy paying me money? Like he's already like so good. Like, so I remember that. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, that's
and then
awesome.
I remember I reached out to you and gave you like whatever the free membership or something.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you messaged me. Yeah.
I was like, I don't feel right taking your money because you're helping me a lot.
Yeah. And so I was like, no, man, I appreciate it because, I like the guide. And then for me, I was just like trying to help guys too. Cause I think, I don't know, when I see guys struggling with shit that I used to struggle with, that I kind of figured out, then I just try to help them. It's just,
No, and I always appreciate it. That's like one of the tenets of playing with fire. Like I try to, while I do enjoy the occasional trolling myself, I do like to keep it like I try to discourage bitching, shitting on people. Like if someone starts shitting on someone else, I'm gonna shit on them. Like I try to discourage shit like that because that's an issue with a lot of communities now.
With all the pickup groups, it's so really bad. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of dudes bickering like fucking housewives. Like I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's no value that's being exchanged here. So yeah, I'm pretty strict on that. Like it's one thing I don't want in my groups.
Like I've left most of the pickup groups that I used to be in, but I'm still in yours because it does have it still has a better environment than like most of the groups out there. Because a lot of them, it's just like they're so negative, and it's just a lot of like it's like a circle jerk or a pity party kind of thing.
Yeah, basically, we're like a dick measuring contest where everyone is like trying to one up each other, but like none of them are getting laid anyway. So like one upping each other.
Yeah, it's like what's the point in that? So I really like that, man. That like I didn't realize that you were really focused on that. Because I think just as a member, I was just like, oh, I like this place better, but I never really. It's like you don't actively think about like, oh, Alex.
It's like in the little things you do behind the scenes. So, for example, if someone posts something that's like attacking someone, like I don't call them out online. Typically, I will private message them and explain to them why their behavior is counterproductive, so then they don't do it again. So like stuff like that, or when someone does post something positive, like always, I mean, it sounds like kind of like Pavlovian, but I'm basically like trying to reward good behavior. So if someone's like writes a detailed comment, I'll private message them like, hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate you writing that. And if someone does something that's bad, and kind of doing that, like being very aware what exactly is going on in the group and just encouraging good things and discouraging bad things.
Nice. No, I definitely noticed that. And it's probably why, your group's still going strong. Even though fucking Facebook zucked you out.
Zucked me out, yeah. Man. It was a Vice article.
Yeah, was it all? It was like because of the fallout from Vice.
It was a week after the article. It was a week after they took. Yeah, so basically Vice reached out to Facebook for a quote, and then right afterwards I got banned.
Wow. Oh yeah, and for those who don't know, like Vice did like a hit piece on fucking Playing with Fire. Yeah. and then like a week later, Alex disappeared off Facebook, and Facebook fucking banned
You
it.
know what the annoying thing is? They never mentioned playing with fire once in that article because they didn't
Oh
want to.
no.
They did that on purpose. They didn't want to give me like any traction. So
Yeah.
they literally called it that company or that group, and like they did that all throughout. Never once did they mention PWF or playing with fire.
Yeah.
They did mention my first and last name.
Oh, so that makes you a target now.
Yeah.
And did you get a lot of like feminists, feminazis come after you?
Not really. It wasn't that big of an article.
Okay.
I thought I would, but no, that never happened.
And I mean, and it was a shit article too. I mean, I don't remember the details. It was a while ago, but I remember it was just like, man, they really fucking threw you under the bus.
They were going after me for saying that, like, basically they were making it seem like the group is like a revenge porn type of thing, where it's all about sharing pictures of girls that you fuck. They basically try to lump me in with revenge porn, and like, I'm nothing like revenge porn. Like, that wasn't what the group was about at all. It was about guys trying to prove their skills. Like, you could shit on us for being like fucking dorks or whatever, but like, we're not like, it doesn't make sense because we're not revenge porn. It's like, it's like accusing me of like fucking dumping chemical waste in the ocean. Like, I don't have any chemical waste. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, that's bringing back the memories now where, they were all about, they were like, guys are getting off sharing pictures of women, but that wasn't even the point. Like, the point was like, oh, look, I actually got a woman, and I think, you know, and you guys would have them like blur the faces and shit.
Yeah, we were really strict on privacy, so we would, like, if anyone posted a name or, you know, Facebook, we would remove that post.
Yeah, I remember. So which is like, there are so many like worse groups out there that wouldn't care, that were posting shit all that, like, and I would be like, dudes, this is bad. You guys got to take this down on some of the other groups. And yeah, so it just, you know, it's a shame that they fucking targeted you like that.
I mean, they went after me because I was a bigger target, because my group at that point was blowing up, had 10,000 people. So it was like we reached like kind of like critical mass in terms of Facebook groups. And I mean, I would love to see where that group would be now if it didn't get shut down. Like, it would be crazy.
Because that was the OG group.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of activity on that back then.
Yeah.
And so, like, where's Playing with Fire going now? Because I know you got the app going and you're working on like the group chat in the app, and like, what's going on just on your end of things right now?
Yeah, so basically, with the whole Facebook fiasco, it taught me a lesson that you can never rely on anyone else, basically. So I want to take control of everything. So that's why we created our own forums and like our own thing. So basically, the forums are the Facebook group that we used to have. But right now, no one can shut me down. You know, I'm hosted. You know, my host servers are in fucking Europe that don't do takedowns or whatever. So like, no one can really fuck with me. And we're trying to do like the app also, again, like, we want to keep everything within our control, so that I can run it, you know, in a way that I see fit, and I don't have to like whatever that term is.
Like bow down, something like that.
To like fucking SGW police. But yeah, we're just focused on, you know, putting out value and growing the content. You know, for example, my YouTube channel, I made a video with a girl showing how to escalate, and that video was honestly made like, I had no expectations that anyone was even going to give a shit about that video. I
caught that video, dude. That's a good video, man.
I was debating not even posting that because I thought it was like so pointless. I was like, this is common sense. So the verdict is it. People want to see videos of real life demonstrations on girls. So I'm going to do a lot more stuff like that. We got planned for the future. I want to do also a lot more of these podcasts. I enjoy like interviewing interesting people, getting their perspective, so my viewers can get, you know, perspective of someone other than me. So a lot of stuff like that we're going to be focused on growing.
So just a lot of giving more value to your fans and to the community, and just like, focusing on what's working for them. I mean, I know I like that video, the escalation video. And it's funny because I go through the same thing, like, as a coach, where just a lot of things that we're like, that's like, everybody knows that, right? And then you find out a lot of people don't. Like, when I was working with my business partner for we did a workshop in Vegas, and I was like, he was the one who actually helped me come up with the syllabus, because I was like, oh, we don't need to cover these things. Everybody knows that. He's like, no, dude, I don't know that stuff. And he's like he's pretty decent with women, but he's not like, you know, he doesn't kill it, but he has decent results. And it was just, you know, a lot of just sexting or sex advice kind of stuff. And I was like, everybody knows that. He's like, nah, dude, nobody knows that. And
Yeah, for
so
sure.
you're like, oh, everybody knows escalation. We don't need a video on it. Everyone knows how to pull hair and
Yeah,
bite the neck and shit.
yeah,
And
basically.
nah, dude, I mean, when before I found game, I would have been blown away by your video. Just like, what? This is how it works. And so yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely check out the Playing with Fire YouTube channel to look at his the latest videos. I don't know if it's your last one or one of the.
It's like fifth or sixth in the line. But yeah, we're gonna do a lot of stuff like that. Like what I don't want to do is a lot of people in this industry, unfortunately, just bust out product after product after product after product, and so I'm not gonna do that.
Like needless products, just like
it's like everything. So obviously, I come up with new shit and learn stuff along the way. So what I do is I just do these content updates and release it for free to my existing members. So
wow.
So we've had since the product launched 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, we counted recently, we had over 10 content updates. So these are at least either one of them could have been like a mini product, but we just gave access to our members for free. So we're doing stuff like that. There's going to be another one that we're going to do in a month or two, and we're just going to share it. The only thing that I might do is I do want to write a book for Amazon, because I do realize that this content is kind of like some people are just not gonna I want to be on the Amazon store. I want to have an Audible, so someone who's like a layman, someone who has never heard of pickup, could also kind of get a version of my content. So that's the only thing I might do at some point in the near future, but. Yeah, mostly it's just focusing on.
I mean, I would get it because I do Audible all the time, and so I would love to hear your content in Audible form. I was going to say you could listen to that while you're driving to work, but nobody's driving to work nowadays. Not a lot of people.
But by the time I finish this, definitely people will be driving to work.
It'll probably be over.
It took a year to write this product, so this book will take ages also.
Yeah, and damn coronavirus
shit. Coronavirus.
And actually, I wanted to ask you some questions about because you're kind of the online Tinder master. And are you still Tindering during the coronavirus? And if so,
I am.
Yeah.
Proud of it.
And so how have things changed between like a month ago and now?
Okay, yeah. So good question. So there's good and bad. The good is that right now more girls are on dating apps than ever. Recently I think it was MSNBC or one of those big newspapers. They put an article that basically dating app downloads are all-time high because every girl is stuck at home with nothing to do. Right, so dating app downloads are an all-time high. The downside is that the majority of girls are very concerned about meeting someone because of this fucking social isolation nonsense. So we got I shouldn't say nonsense. There's some validity to it. I think it's gone too far, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
So basically a lot of girls are concerned. So if you want to, I don't think I've had a girl in the past 3 weeks that didn't bring it up once. Every girl brings it up at some point. Sometimes they bring it up in the beginning. Sometimes you think you got through the whole thing. You're setting up the date, and she brings it up at the end.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to handle that concern, I call it, in a proper way and put her at ease and reassure her. Mm-hmm. And so that's the big change. Before, 2 months ago, you didn't have to reassure a girl that you don't have a random virus. That wasn't a thing. Girl would be like, wait, before I come over, do you have, SARS? That wasn't a thing.
Yeah. And so so you didn't have to go through those hoops of no, I'm not sick, I'm cool. And has the the flirting or the escalation kind of stuff changed at all? Do you have to be more cautious even if you're just
you mean on text or on a date?
Yeah, on text or Tinder, when you're texting, or is it still the same game plan as before?
Still the same. Good text game is still good text game.
Yeah.
All the same principles apply. Yeah.
Do you have any good stories from the quarantine?
Yeah, a few. I mean, I had one girl. This was actually going to be I'm actually releasing a video tomorrow on frame control, and I used her as an example in it.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys the quick preview. So, it was crazy, dude. We had a date set up, and the day of the date, she fucking flaked hard. She was like, hey, this is a bad idea. Everyone's sick. Everyone's dying out there. We shouldn't be until this whole thing was over. And so then I basically had to take her from that frame to, hey, it's actually okay to meet. And then it took like fucking like at least 20 texts back and forth. I was like slowly just breaking down her beliefs. I'm like, oh, you watch a lot of news, I assume. She's like, yeah, what's wrong with that? I'm like, oh, nothing, but the media does make its money by scaring the shit out of people, like just kind of like breaking down her underlying beliefs to the point where she's like, okay, fine, I'll meet you. And then we hung out.
Wow. So it was a lot of that kind of frame battle of breaking down those beliefs of like, oh, I can't go, it's too dangerous. You're like, no, it's not too dangerous. But you're not even like directly saying that you're doing it in a better.
I'm digging a level deeper. So I'm not directly challenging her. I'm going like a level deeper and trying to figure out what that belief is based on. Why does she think it's dangerous? What exactly does she think is dangerous? Does she think it's dangerous that she's going to get sick, or does she think it's more of like an ethical type of, no one should be out type of thing? So just trying to figure out exactly what it is, and then I can deal with it.
So before you even deal with it, you're asking questions and you're like gathering information to understand like where that objection's even coming from.
100%. I think a big mistake a lot of guys make is they'll try to answer concerns and objections that don't exist. So they'll be like trying to deal with the one night stand objection when in reality it's all purely a safety objection. I'll be like, don't worry, I'm looking for something serious. But the girl doesn't give a shit about that. She wants to fuck. She doesn't want to get stabbed. It's a completely different thing.
It's totally different argument of like, I'm looking for a relationship.
That aren't really there. So first I want to figure out exactly what she's concerned about.
Yeah. And with this girl, do you remember what it was that was like her underlying, like the reason behind her objections?
Yeah, this woman's been fucking watching news 24/7. If you watch, I tried watching news for half an hour. Even I became scared. Like, I get scared easily. Yeah, I watched news for half an hour. I'm like, shit. Like, everyone's dying out there. Like, it's like fucking.
The sky is falling.
Yeah. And I go outside, and it's like just people walking their dogs and shit. There's less of them, but some of them are wearing creepy masks. Other than that, so so she's just been watching news, like locked up in her apartment watching news, and it scared the shit out of her.
Oh yeah. And so then you kind of comforted her, calmed her down.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Wow. That's dope, man. And did you guys have sex with the masks on or off?
So full confession, I did not fuck this girl. She came over.
No.
It just turned out that she was a giant fucking weirdo and had like all these weird hang-ups. I tried really hard. Like I whipped my dick out and everything. Like I was going for it, but it was just not happening that night. Like if I pushed it any further, it would have been like,
It's like, oh, okay.
I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to be the next Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
And
I'm get close to that, but so I'll fully set it up as like a day 2 type of thing, where like I set it up just the right amount so that when we hang out next time, we're gonna bang. And she like hit me up for FaceTime like the next night, and I was just busy, so I didn't pick up. And then she got really distant when I didn't answer her FaceTime, and she got like really weird. So eventually I called it out, and then she was just like a really fucking one-off weird case. And then she like started talking about how my apartment's dirty, and how because of that, I must have no respect. It's just like really weird. And then she made the crucial mistake of insulting someone who I knew, who was in the apartment at the time. And then I basically just made my mission to like fucking annihilate this girl. So I just went full on troll mode. So it was like a combination of things. But then, the girl right before that, who's also very similar, Corona concern, also a one night stand concern, she came over, really clicked, we fucked. So it was like, this was just like a weird one-off case that not really representative of anything.
Yeah. And also mad props to being like, I didn't actually fuck the last girl who came over. Because I think, I don't know, a lot of guys, sometimes they put on a front of like, every chick who comes over, we bang. And, even Big Dick Alex over here, every once in a while you get like a weirdo or.
There's no way around it. Like you guys will ask me what, like, the big one is like, what do you do if a girl, doesn't respond to your opener? Like, I'm like, dude, that's like 50% of girls. And they're like mind blowing. You're saying that you don't fuck every girl you match with on Tinder? Dude, I don't even fuck 10% of the girls I match with on Tinder. Like, it's like single digits. Like, that's just reality.
Yeah, it's still a number. Like, at the end of the day, it's still a numbers game. And I think like learning all this stuff definitely increases.
Yeah, you're just maximizing your odds as much as possible, but you still have to run volume.
Oh yeah, and there's just so many things that can happen or come up between like when you match to having sex,
So many.
where maybe she'll match with another dude, and then it's like, oh, this is I like
Like
this
a
dick
fucking
better.
global pandemic. Yeah, like so much shit.
Yeah, or it's like, or maybe God forbid her grandma died or something, and then it's like, well, no one's fucking her for a while. Right, you just never know. Uh,
Yeah.
you
I have had some epic ones. So I'll typically, like, when I'm writing up LRs, like, I don't write about like the plain boring LRs where I talk to a girl and then we hit it off and then she comes over, we fucked, or we go on a date, we fuck. Like, I never write those up, right? Because those are
yeah,
just boring. Right now, at this point, I write up the crazy ones, like the ones where it took me 3 months of persistence and, like, some crazy shit. And there's like a crazy frame bow, like just like the really like outliers. But because
yeah.
I really mainly write those up, people think that's how my average interaction goes, right? But those are like the outliers. For every one of
Okay,
those that happens, there's three that did it.
yeah.
So
And so yeah. I mean, I loved reading your old like frame battle posts where it's like, and it's like epic duel or some shit.
I
Yeah.
know.
And then for you, even like that's not even common. Like that's more rare.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are more like the one-off cases. More often than not, it's just like pretty straightforward. We flirt, we banter a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
she gives me like one concern, and then she comes over, and we go on a normal date, we click, and we fuck. Yeah, it's like
Yeah. So
we
yeah,
go.
not every match is going to be crazy
No,
you're not going to get epic frame battles all the time.
no. Although I live
Yeah,
in Miami, and there's a lot of those fucking here. Like
that's true.
these girls here are fucking testing me.
I haven't been to Miami before, but I can imagine. I mean, I've seen them online and shit. So they look like they got a lot of attitude down there in Miami.
Yeah,
And
dude, this one that I'm talking to right now, it's crazy. Like, if I hook up with her, it's gonna be an epic OR. Like, she's the most emotionally manipulative person I've ever met. Like, every single, like,
damn.
she has accused me of having corona and of being a massive manslaughter, like, at least 20 times already throughout the conversation. We haven't even met yet. Like, she's just like, so fucking crazy, emotionally manipulative. So the whole
Dude, she
thing's
sounds like a fucking ball buster.
giant frame battle. Yeah.
Wow. And do you have so one thing is you've helped a lot of guys. Do you have any like standout success stories?
With people who I learned from or people who I helped.
Oh, people who you helped.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's been dozens. There was Blake. He was. I mean, this kid is amazing. He joined my group a few weeks after the product launch, and he was maybe like 20, 30 late count, like nothing crazy. Got
Yeah.
my product, and he just fucking ran with it, man. Like he just. I think he told me he like absorbed it all in like a day or two, and then he just like fucking within a week he was like banging 3 girls, a week.
Wow.
He was just like he got to the point where he was banging more girls than me because he was just like a fucking menace.
Oh,
And I had
this
the,
is
I had,
the chef, right?
yeah, the chef, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had the pleasure of meeting up with him in Colombia, and he's a great fucking guy. They're one of my good friends right now. But yeah, so I've had a lot like that. We had this guy Tommy. He was like this really odd person, really good guy, but also extremely weird and odd.
Yeah.
And then he was also like 20, 30 late count, got my product, and then now he's dating 2 girls. One of them is a flight attendant. One of them is like a
Wow.
hot Russian. So he's also got like, just did a complete like 180. So we have
That's
a lot of
dope.
stories like that.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I talked to Blake online because we were going to meet up, and then we didn't. But I kind of been following his journey, and I know he's like he would post in the group all the time of like
Oh
he
yeah.
traveled the world, and then he's doing Tinder all over the world, and he's got like, dude, he'd have a new lay report like every day.
Dude, I was me and him stayed in Colombia together for a week, and dude,
Yeah,
like I think during that week I banged maybe 5, 6 girls in like a week, which is pretty fucking good.
that's yeah,
But
yeah.
Blake banged literally 10 girls in one week. Like he was just like
Shit.
it was crazy. At one point, actually, I love this story. Me and him both matched with one girl, and then she was gonna hang out with me, and she flaked on me to hang out with Blake.
Oh
Yeah,
shit,
I
dude.
know.
So
I
when
know.
the student becomes the master.
I know. I know.
Oh
He had
shit.
like all these crazy things, and then one girl he was supposed to hang out with, I wound up hanging. One girl that he flaked on matched with me, and then I went out with her. It's just like all these weird, like fucking living with that guy for a week was a lot of fun.
That's dope. I imagine living with you must be pretty fun. Where you're doing, you're on the front line of Tinder these days, man. You're fucking, you're a Tinder soldier.
Yeah, yeah.
And so this was dope, man. I really enjoyed having you on the call. Do you have any like last words or anything you want to say to the guys watching? Because I know like a lot of guys follow you and respect you, and a lot of guys watching have gone through the product. Um, got
In
any
terms of,
words of encouragement?
yeah, I mean, you know, success comes down to, I'm going to try to make something very complex very simple. Success comes down to the kind of action you take and how much of it you take. So you got to take right action and you got to do a lot of it, right? So I think the big issue for a lot of guys is they're not lazy. They're just taking the wrong kind of action. You know, they're kind of hitting their head against their wall. Like kind of how I was when I was younger. Like I was getting laid, but I wasn't getting laid because of myself. I was getting laid, you know, in spite of myself, right?
Yeah.
So I think it comes down to making sure that the information you're following is correct. Like the analogy I would give is like, you don't want to, if you go to the gym and you're doing the wrong kind of shit, sure, you'll put on some muscle, but you're largely wasting your time. You know, you should be following optimal, you know, weight training, you know, routines, you know, whatever, like getting strong,
Yeah.
lifts, you know, having a calorie surplus, all that stuff. So again, so same kind of thing. Yeah, just make sure, you know, like your group is really good. Like you give spot on advice. Like make sure the people who you follow and take advice from, like actually know what they're talking about. Because I think it's very, you know, if you spend like waste 3-4 years of your life like following the wrong information, it's just sad. You know, I have a lot of those stories. Guys will come to me and they're like, dude, I was doing this and this, and then I discovered your group and I'm actually getting laid for the first time. Like, well, how long were you doing that for? Maybe like 5 years. I'm like,
damn,
wasted 5 years of your life. Like I feel really bad for those people. So
yeah,
make sure you have, you know, the right kind of information with anything, not just pick up, you know, when it comes with, you know,
And
business.
did you have coaches for pickup, or was it more just like following the online stuff?
It was I did have certainly had several sources that I attribute, you know, my success from. Like for example, that sales manager. Like I learned, dude, like it would
Yeah.
have taken me like 5 years to learn about sales and like psychology that she taught me in like 5 months. You know, so I got really lucky. I had a great sales manager. In terms of resources, I always shout him out. Will from Revolutionary Style Design, even though he's kind of gone in a weird direction now and it's all about God. His earlier content was great. I definitely learned a lot from him. The Swoop the World guys also, I don't know what they're doing now, but 5 years ago, you know, very great content, cutting edge. Also just people who are not, who no one would ever know of, just like friends, really close friends of mine, and just
Yeah.
people. I would always try to hang out with people who were doing successful at something and like pick their brains. I think that's also key. I still try to do that. Like, for example, I don't know shit about marketing. So I try to get information from people who do know marketing so I can expand
Yeah.
business. So, yeah, I would definitely, there's a lot of people who's just like aren't, no one would know, but who I learned a lot from. So definitely a lot of that. Like, I definitely did not invent all of this on my own. And, you know, like, I don't think that would even be smart. Like, you don't want to just completely reinvent the wheel. Like, that would take decades. Like, if
Yeah.
there's good information, you want to absorb it and adopt it and then, you know, use it to, you know, along with your own original ideas.
Oh, that's great. That's great advice, because I think sometimes us guys, we get stuck in our heads, and then we get stuck like trying to do everything on our own.
Yeah, it becomes like this weird
Yeah.
ego thing.
Yeah, like I was like that for a while, where it's like I don't need any help. I'm gonna. It's like you're gonna muscle through it, and but a lot of this shit you can't really muscle through. Like you definitely need some
Yeah, or you
outside
just
help.
waste like, you know, 10 years of your life. Like, you get no results at the end of it. Like, what's better, like drop your ego and actually achieve your goals, or keep your ego and waste your life?
Yep, that's fucking. That's some fortune cookie wisdom right there. And no joke though, that's some good shit.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Man,
Yeah, so if you guys want to check out my content, I have a YouTube channel. We'll link in the description below. I'm always posting videos twice a week there. Pretty much everything in terms of online game, just more broadly, I answer a lot of stuff, you know, just about lifestyle and success on there. We have forums.playingfire.com. I check those forums every day, and I'm always answering everyone's questions myself. I don't have like a weird assistant or something like that that's trying to like, you know, paraphrase what I was. So yeah, definitely check those things out. And if you're interested in really fucking mastering online game, then check out my product.
Oh yeah, and I could vouch. I could vouch for Alex. His product's dope. You know, his group is dope, and so is the forum. Although, like, it's not in my face, so I forget about it all the time.
Yeah, that's the struggle. But you
That's
know what? I
the
have to provide so much value so that people get. Like, I have to provide way more value than I did with the initial Facebook group because people are used to Facebook. So I have to
yeah.
set the bar really high so people get off Facebook. It's a fucking challenge.
Oh yeah, I think the app's gonna help though. Like, because I'm on my phone all the time, so if I get
Yeah,
notifications from your app, I'll definitely be checking it out more.
yeah.
And so yeah, definitely download the app too. That's gonna be in the bio as well. So Alex is just providing all kinds of value all over the fucking place. So definitely check out all of his shit.
And if you have a hot wife, I'll bang her too. Like, I'll do that. I'll do that for you guys.
See, Alex is willing to go the extra mile to take one for the team, and
Take one for the team. If you
he'll
got
bang your hot wife if you
a
need
fat
that.
ass wife, I'll come over and I'll bang her.
Dude. And now you're gonna get a bunch of DMs right now. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Well, all right, man. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure, buddy.
Thanks for chatting.
All right, guys. Peace out.
See you later, man.